Today we are going to be talking about balance as a principle of design. As we go through the PowerPoint, watch for the following questions. You need to describe the meaning of balance in regards to composition. You explain the difference of symmetrical balance and asymmetrical balance, and you have to provide a visual example of each. And it says create both a symmetrical and asymmetrical design in Photoshop. You need to explain the different elements and principles you use to create the two effective compositions. Oops. Alrighty, so let's go through PowerPoint. Balance is achieved when things are in equilibrium. This is commonly achieved through an equal weighting or just distribution of elements within a whole. Balance is important because it can create a feeling of stability. It's achieved by selecting and arranging text and images to control the distribution of weight. Okay, so this pink circle has quite a bit of visual weight. So what the visual artist has done is they've added the bright text up here to balance the image out. Okay, same with this text right here is balanced with the color here. Balance can be achieved by placing an object within space. The focus here is the placement of the bulldozer. The text is used to balance the image. So if we have the placement of the bulldozer in the center of the image, the text would balance it by being centralized. And if we had the bulldozer on the left side, it would be balanced by having the text on the right side of the image. Balances the visual weight. Symmetry is created by dividing a space and elements within it equally. Symmetry can create order, formality, calmness, and stillness. So a symmetrical design, as this one, has pretty much the same elements on both sides to make it perfectly symmetrical. These designs have asymmetrical balance. When they're divided down the middle, there are different selections and arrangements of elements in each part. Asymmetry can look informal, natural, and energetic. So if we cut this down the middle, it's not the same on both sides, but it's still balanced. Cut this down the middle. It's not the same on both sides, but again, these elements are balancing the visual weight out. Some things to keep in mind for placement. Higher, smaller squares has more energy. So if it's higher and smaller than another element on the page, it will have more energy. Orientation of elements. So the smaller square here is rotated off axis and it equalizes energy. The value of an element. Darker values give smaller square greater weight. So we have smaller writing here, but it's visually more heavy because of the darkness and the contrast created against the white background. Color, as compared to the black square, the color has more visual weight because it energizes and pulls the eye in. Defying gravity creates greater energy, and resting is more stable. Couple more things I want to go over for this assignment. Now, this is mostly, I guess, for asymmetrical compositions. I guess symmetrical, you can do it too. It's something called anchoring. Alright, if you look at this composition right now that I have in Photoshop, it's kind of poor. The eye won't stay on the page, it's not really organized. the first thing that I want to do is I want to start anchoring some of these elements. What anchoring means is just bringing the elements so that they run off the canvas or the page. Once we start doing that, it will start having a sense of, I guess, almost order to the design. Once we rearrange our shapes a little bit differently, the design becomes a little bit more dynamic. And you see that we've anchored the images so that our eye will stay on the page and follow the lines. Taking a guess, what do you think the focal point of this image is? So the place that is going to draw in the eye, what do you think it is? Well, it should be this little itty bitty square. And the reason it should be that is because we have a contrast in size here. Okay, so that's, I'm hoping you are kind of getting that is where our focal point would be. Alright, so we have, that is anchoring, basically running elements off of the page in order to keep the eye on the page. Before you start the assignment, I'm just going to show you how to create an easy symmetrical composition, since you'll have to do that. So I'm just going to start off making some shapes here. Alright, so as you can see, I just did half of my canvas. Now I'm going to go up to select all, edit, copy, paste it on a new layer. No, I need to go back. Before I copy it, I need to merge the layers. So I'm going to hold down my Shift key, click on shape 1, and then I already had shape 11 selected, so it automatically selected everything. But you hold down the Shift, click on the first layer, and then go up to the last layer and click on that. You can right click and merge the layers. Once they're merged, you're going to select all and copy it, create a new layer, and paste it. Now we have two of the same, but they're not symmetrical, right? Because this one needs to be flipped. So I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal. Now that automatically flips. Voila, we have a symmetrical composition. Easy peasy, right? So use those tips to help you create your symmetrical one. And I want to see some anchoring in your asymmetrical one and make thoughtful choices of the colors that you use and the different placements of elements on your page. I hope you enjoy this assignment. Have fun.